Hi, welcome to another episode of Coffee with Mirko. I'm very excited to have you here today and thank you. Hope you're safe and sound. And if you've been enjoying this podcast, please share it with your friends as I would love to grow this coffee community of ours. Um, Today it's another special episode. We're interviewing an amazing, an amazing guy in coffee. So stick around. Uh, Daniel Horbat will be joining us real soon. He's already in the house, and yeah, I hope you're well and enjoy this episode. Let's just bring him on. Here we go.
Hey,
Hi,
can you,
mate. Good morning.
good morning. Can you hear me well?
I can hear you fantastically. How you doing, my friend?
All good, man. I just woke up. I'm having my coffee, my morning coffee. My first from six. And first of all, I want to thank you so much for inviting me. I was watching your show on Instagram. Like it's amazing, man. Like since probably the beginning. And the couple of days I couldn't go live to watch you live, but I watch all your recorded shows. I was a little bit busy and I didn't, I'm working on opening my own project. So, it's very difficult times to plan everything and to put it all together. So, but I still have time to watch it after that though. So you're doing a really, really, really good job and I'm a big fan. So thank you so much for inviting me
Mate,
on.
the pleasure is mine, and thank you for giving us an hour of your time. And I'm really excited to chat with you. And thank you for your words. I really appreciate it, man. It's
Thank you.
you know the drill. But now it's just amazing. You know, it's for me. This is such a beautiful opportunity to connect with people like yourself and all the others, and everyone has a story. Which it brings me to yours. I mean, to give some context to the audience, how did you start your coffee journey? I mean, you already know the format, so that's a
Yeah.
start, a good advantage.
Yeah, my country pro is the same like everybody else. I finished high school. I needed a job to support my financial needs in the university. So I applied for a job. I got a job as a bartender, and I fall in love with it. But back home in Romania, you have kind of to do everything. We didn't have the word barista. We didn't know exactly what it means. But as a bartender working, let's say, in the lounge cafe where you have to do a lot of cocktails, but you have to do a lot of coffees as well and fresh juices and basically everything that is inside the bar. That's your responsibility to make it for your customers. And I fall in love with that. I've been working in some of the best cocktail bars in my city back home in Romania, and then I decided to move when I was 21 in Santorini in Greece, focusing on mixology and working on very nice cocktail bars on the beach. And I've been there for a couple of years, and I was making loads of coffee, man. Man, a lot of Freddo Espresso, a lot of Freddo Cappuccino. You live in Australia, you probably have a lot of Greek friends there, so they drink a lot of coffee, man, and a lot of Greek coffee that we have
Frappé?
this frappe, Hellenico, they call it Greek coffee, so it's like a e-brick coffee, right? And I was doing it like once 10, you have the gas bottles and you do like, was too slow to do it on sand traditionally, so we were doing on the gas. Oh man, crazy. And then I decided, actually, I got a customer there in Santorini. They were Irish customers. I said, man, you're really good as a bartender. You should come in Ireland. That we have a lot of clubs and cocktail bars and pubs that they would love someone like you to make them cocktails, and we like to drink as well. And I said, okay, like let's get it a try. And I moved together with my girlfriend in 2000, end of 2012 in Ireland, and I applied to all the cocktail bars that I could found, and nobody gave me a chance. They kind of said that I don't have any experience in Ireland, and I offered myself to work for free for a couple of days just to see if I'm good enough, just for them to notice if I have any skills or any uh, advantages that they can use it. So they said no. They're very strict here. Like you need to go from the beginning, and I saw an advertisement like barista needed. The salary was quite good, was not the minimum wage. And so like, okay, let's give it a try. And I got the job. I got the job as a barista. I remember the first day I had the trial. I had to make the latte art. And working behind the bar doing coffees, I was, good at making swans and rosettas and stuff like that. From not even caring about, like caring, not even knowing too much about coffee. My main focus was cocktails, right? And so coffee was, like the second guy that was working about, okay, you make that, when I had a latte or something, the cappuccino to make a latte art on top, yeah, that would be me. So I got the job, and after that, it's history, man. I fell in love with it. I remember I was all over the place, and my man, one of the guys that I respect a lot now, he's living in Sweden. He told me, man, you're all over the place. Relax. This is not Greece, it's Ireland. You make just coffee. You're barista. Your job is to focus on coffee, and then if you don't have nothing, then you can help us. Because I was all over the place. I was at the till. I was at the sandwiches. I used to be. I used to work like that, to be all over the place because I was alone, and I even washed dishes. I didn't have someone to wash my glasses and stuff like that. So, yeah. And after that, I fall in love with it, and I think. It got really, really big for me when I started competing. Because everybody told me, you're good, you're good. I become the best of that company. Everybody was talking about me, and that company was like a chain here in Ireland. And I said, okay, let's get it let's go for a try. And I competed in 2014, I believe, the first competition, and last Saturday I placed 8. Was a disaster, man. I didn't had enough. I thought that I need just 2 jugs. One to steam the milk, one. So I used the same jugs for every, I had to do 3 beverages. I used the same 2 jugs for everything. So I lost a lot of points, but I was still not bad. I was like, wow, okay, I'm not last. So I'm okay. I'm in the middle.
Yeah.
So the top 6 was the final. I didn't qualify in the final, but I was like, okay, like next year I'm gonna come stronger. And the second year, I managed to go in the final. I placed 5th, and I was really happy with my performance. I did really good designs. I got the best macchiato. I did like 11 elements pour in the macchiato with the reverse and everything. So that was for me was a big deal. And so I managed in the final, and I won my first cup tasting competition. Like someone that I admire a lot is kind of like my mentor, is my best friend. He said like he was working with me in the same company, and he said, man, you have to go in coffee. And he won the previous year because I was quite good, like having cocktail background, like you have to develop a palate to be able to do really nice cocktails. First you judge with your palate. And I was really good with copying. I said, man, I don't like this. Like, what is it, a spoon? And I'm with the latte art. And I won from the first competition, and I won with a national record. I did 8 from 8 in 1 minute 27.
Amazing.
And everybody like said, man, you're crazy. Like this is the most insane thing. Like you're the fastest. And after that, I said, okay, I'm really good. And I went to Shanghai. I didn't do that well. I was a little bit cocky. I think, okay, I'm gonna smoke them. I saw it's a different level there. And placed 22nd, and then I started preparing like seriously into that.
Seriously,
and we end up after 3 years competing in the Worlds. We managed it to win finally the gold. So I'm very excited. It was not in vain. It was really, really hard work, guys. Like 6 months of diet and crazy.
Right, and really, I mean, I think for people listening and people who are going to listen to this again, it's like we underestimate all the steps in between, like you just said. First and foremost, if it wasn't for Santorini, which is, I know how it is, it's seasonal work, big days, there's no breaks, there's no such a thing as sitting down and eating for an hour, and it's like go, 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 go. If it wasn't for Santorini, you wouldn't have met the Irish tourists that sparked and planted a seed for you to go to Ireland. You went to Ireland. And if it wasn't for the hustle and doing everything on your own, which was already kind of setting you for competition, because at competitions, you by yourself.
Yeah.
on stage. That's how it is. But also all that mixology background developed your palate because you had to. You know, I worked in a bar before, so in a jazz club, so it was all about cocktails, and developing that palate got you to the world. So I think where I'm going is that some people are unhappy where they are now because they're washing dishes or they're not yet a head barista, that haven't started competing, and yet those days are the days that make who you are and who you will be at stage 1, 2, 3, 5 years later. So, I mean, how defining was for you to win the world?
Oh, definitely, man. Like, even let's start with Santorini. I was working 16 hours every day, no day off for 8 months. That's mental, right? And it was like 40, 41 degrees. And as you said, like, it's tough, but you know, doing those things is rewarding when you get what you achieve, when you see what you achieve in the end. So everybody have to understand that you have to start from the bottom and you have to understand what is sacrifice and what is hard work, and then everything will be more easy in the top, you know. Like, my belief that the most difficult climbs leads to the best views. And you know, it makes sense. Like, everything that you put in the past will reflect in your future. And that's it. Like you have to work hard. Like, nobody got up by luck. Luck, it's a thing for moment, and people that think that you are lucky, they're just jealous. There's no such things as luck. Luck is just a moment thing. Consistency is something that lasts. And when you're consistent in what you do for many years, that's not luck. That's hard work.
I think a lot of time people confuses luck with faith and coincidences, right? Because in a weird way, you were lucky, but it's not luck. It was your fate to meet the Irish person to get you to Ireland, isn't it? You
Yeah.
know, but it's you put yourself in that position by working 16 hours a day hard.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
if I were working 8 hours, probably I'd never met that guy, you know. And how crazy it was for me and my girlfriend to move from Santorini to a country that we didn't have nobody. We just went.
yeah, and Santorini, which I never been, but I think most people have a clear idea of what Santorini looks and feels like. And yesterday, a friend of mine sent me a video. His girlfriend is Irish, and is like, "Look at these beaches, 16 degrees, and these crazy Irish people are here. Like if it's Copacabana in Brazil, it's like wow, 16." So yeah, of course, it was a massive switch from Santorini to Ireland. Speaking of Ireland, what's the Irish coffee scene out there?
Yeah, it's still small, kind of, because we're small. So if you refer strict to Ireland, we have like so many coffee shops. But comparing, let's say, with UK, we're still small. We have over 280 small specialty roasters. We have so many specialty coffee shops. Uh, the consumers start understanding what really specialty coffee is, and they start being aware of, okay, this is Kenya, this is wash process, this is natural process, this is better quality, this is a grade or bigger beans, and they start and for most of us that we're really inspired and passionate about coffee, and especially the barista, we are the last ones who give the last information. And as Gwydon said in your previous interview, is the experience that we offer, not necessarily the quality. We are very important. We're the last piece of the chain. So we have to treat our customers like really personal, like really friendly. And during my career, and I know that it's not really, but it is for me. It's my career. This is
Of
what I
course
want
it
to do
is.
forever. I treat my customer like my friends, and my customer was more important than my job. And sometimes it happened that I left jobs just because I was not, or I was pointed that I'm talking too much with customer about coffee, and you know, I have to be a little bit faster to sell more. And that's why I'm opening my own business. I want to work for myself, and I want to do something that please me. And by pleasing me, I please lots of people, from the farmers to the consumer. And yeah,
And things fall in place, aren't they? You know, there's a couple of lads here in Melbourne, and you know, coffee friends, and they just started last year doing pop-up shops with a different concept, which is like everybody's like, "You guys are crazy! What are you doing?" And now they've opened up a space, a permanent space. So you know, things fall into place, and you're just gonna make them happening.
I think that especially for my case, by starting small, I don't have to be desperate to look for everybody, to please everybody. I have to please me. And by meaning by that, to for me to create the environment to be really happy and to go to work and to be really happy and to share my happiness and my joy with my friends, because this is how I call them, my friends. um, and by start is more is not a really huge risk. So I'm starting really small with a 3 kilo roaster. I'm gonna roast only really really high scored coffee, because my goal is to share the story of the farmer by selling their coffee and roasting their coffee. I know that is not a lot for them in terms of income, but this they put them on the map. So this is what I will focus on, putting the farmer on the map and the place that they belong. So
Will you also have like a little shop front?
no, it's just gonna be a roastery. I'm not gonna I think coffee shop it's already too difficult now. There's so many. The city is very crowded and it's very difficult to get a space. That's the most challenging in Dublin at the moment, because the coffee scene is huge, man. Honestly, like for the size of it, we have a lot of nice coffee shops that you can go have a very nice brunch and then have a very nice coffee, and then you have coffee shop. They're very hipster in the good way. They are very dedicated about their craft, and they have multi
Definitely.
roasters all over the world, and they do all this crazy stuff. And you go there and say, okay, I want this geisha 90 points, or they have that, so, or they have a menu of 6 7 coffees that you can choose. And then you have the traditional that you go in and they have two options for coffees, or one option for coffee and two options for filter or a batch brew. And it's just the experience when you go and meet your friends and you chat. And because coffee is all about connecting, for me, coffee connects people, like back home in Romania, it's a very strong tradition on going out. When you say you don't go for beer, we go for coffee. Let's go have a coffee and chat. You meet someone that never seen since high school time. Let's go have a coffee, right? And
That's it.
coffee is very intimate for us. I've been raised by my grandmother and my grandfather, and they were having, man, 6 7 coffees a day. I was like, I think my first coffee was like 6 or 7. I had a filter machine, and I just would say, "What is this?" I was like, "Don't drink it. It's very strong," and stuff like that. Uh, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. I think coffee was something part of me, but I didn't knew it. I was so obsessed with mixology that I still love. I still have a bar in my home. I still have collecting all the crazy bottles, like special result bottles and stuff, because I'm obsessed probably with sensory. Um, and I love to mix things.
And going back on what you're obsessed with, right? It's and obviously, big shout out to one of the men who made Ireland pop in on the map, which is Colin Arman. So he definitely did a lot for Ireland, and I had the pleasure of meeting him a couple of times. But in terms of your passion, right? It's like the industry has a lot of range of jobs. What's your passion? It's like, is it being behind a bar, roasting, cupping, talking, people? Because, it would become challenging for you to just be roasting and maybe limiting yourself to have those conversations about coffee. How do you thinking to bridge that gap?
So since I can't really tell much about the other side, like roasting, and I can tell just about being behind the bar, because this is what I did for since I was 18. Now I'm 36. So yeah, the math is how much is 18 years.
18. Just
Um, I love talking with people. I don't feel old. I don't feel rusty. I still believe that I can put the challenge to the a fresher competitor, you know. And even behind the bar, like really long night shifts, I can do that. But I'm not really able to tell yet how I will feel roasting because it's more intimate. It's just by myself. Sometimes, in fairness, I feel I need to be alone. I need some privacy. Sometimes I miss talking with people.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because I was working for uh, owners that had a different mindset. They saw it just like work, 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 make money, passion, but not really that much passion. So probably if I was working, I would still love to engage a lot because it's what I want to do. But this will never change. I still will always at one point I will still behind the bar, still talking with people. So like my goal after in how I see myself in the 5 years time, having a medium roast for me. If you roast let's say 500 kilos up for me, it's okay roast. It's not a small when you start with the 2 kg. This is small, and or with the cow how I roast at home now. So uh, having a roastery, having two coffee shops, and then spending at least 2 days in the coffee shop engaging with my customers.
I like that, and that's why I've asked you about the shop from, because I've gathered from this, 20-minute conversation that you do need that connection. Therefore, it could be, and this is something important, I think, across any industry where it's important to, you know, really zoom in on what your core passion is, because being in coffee or being in food or being in, I don't know, some corporate job is not enough. It's about what do you do in that ramification? What's your branch of that tree? Just because otherwise, I remember I was working for a coffee roaster, and one day I went up to Sydney because we're roasting in Sydney, but I'm based in Melbourne, and they wanted to give me a little bit of class and about roasting, and we went, and it was in front of I think it was 5 or 12 kilo roaster, and we were roasting filter, and I was with Josh, and we're like, all right, let's roast. I'm like, all right. So I sat on the stool, and I was like, all right, what do we do now? Do this, that, and now we wait. And I was like, okay, and you do this 10, 12 hours a day. He's like, oh yeah, I love it. I'm like, but I couldn't. I just couldn't. I need the interaction. For me, it's fuel. But it doesn't mean that it's wrong to not have the interaction. It's just different people, different sizes. Not a size fits all. So that's why I asked you about the shop from, because I really can feel your energy about being that connecting person. So eventually, yeah, right. I got the bigger plan now. I get you.
Yeah, I talk a lot. Like even my nickname back home is Vorbe, means words, because I talk a lot. So I think that's why I say like I have to try it first. Probably how I know myself, I'm not gonna be there for long, behind the roaster. I think I will rather do more copying because for me, copying is a way engaging and transmitting the right information about certain coffee and what exactly are we aiming to do in terms of specialty coffee and why it's different from the commercial coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And I love to do a lot of copying. I love to do training as well. Not as much being behind the bar. Behind the bar for me, it's first of all for I think it's good for the morale of the team to see someone that is in charge as a manager or team leader or owner acting like a leader. I think that's a
Mm-hmm.
very, very important. And every place where I work, I was looking for that, and I was giving 200% out of me for that person. If I saw that it was there, like washing dishes when it's needed, get his fancy Armani suit off and start washing dishes when he's busy, and do the difficult things first and let you focus on your craft. So I would love to be that person, to be the person that is frontliner,
Nicola, Nicola saying, yes, you do. I think you referred to, yes, you do love training. And guess what? The things that you mentioned, they all involve people.
exactly. I love people. like this quarantine time was I was lucky that I was alone with my girlfriend, so we rediscovered ourselves after 10 years of relationship, so was a very strong part of our relationship, like we really discovered that we love each other so much. Most of the
That's
people,
beautiful.
it's kind of weird to stay with someone 24 hours a day, without going to work or not having your own privacy or whatever. But we realized that we were really matching a lot, and it helps. But otherwise, like, I was not happy. I missed my like going meeting with Nico and having coffee, and with all my friends, all my coffee friends, and talk about coffee, and then all my normal friends that they don't have nothing to do with coffee, and we just disconnect and we talk about something else, football or fishing or whatever, like something else.
Well, this is one of the main reasons why I started these live streams, to connect with people around the world. So for me, it was I get you. Yeah, I have the exact same problem and passion, which is talking, which is, look, it's like anything in life. Some people would love to be able to talk more, and some people, and there's pros and cons. Sometimes people around us are like, all right, enough of you talking, can I talk? But that's okay. It's a fine balance, and we're learning. And look, because we are on the people talking topic, you've heard my episodes before, so I'm just going to ask you the same question, because it's important to me to have more perspective and more depth from different people. Coffee is delicious, no doubt, but it wouldn't be possible without the people, okay? From origin, everything that happens there, pickers, farmers, producers, to, roasters, to, the delivery guy, to the barista, to the person who grabbed that cup. How important is that we don't shift and drift away and forget about the people, because we put so much emphasis and focus in the cup?
Oh man, that's a subject that I love. Most of the like, I give you an example. Right now, I'm drinking a coffee that is super super expensive, right? And I did it in the batch brew, and it's a geisha natural lactic fermentation from La Negrita from Colombia, right? Shout out to the farm. And so lately, I was the last 6 months. I'm in love with Colombian coffee. So mainly I was drinking only Colombian coffee, right? And everybody said, "Man, you're crazy. This is competition coffee. You do it the batch brew, you ruin it." Man, I'm enjoying the experience. You know, you have to realize that having a good coffee, that even if you're brewing wrong, it's still gonna taste good. Just enjoy the moment, enjoy the experience. There's so many technical parts, like do that, do that, do that, do that, that you forget about why you brew the coffee in the first place. Uh, and this is my girlfriend. Like, she's nothing to do with coffee. She's working the same domain, but it's on the restaurant side. She likes wine. She likes to smell wine, to taste wine. But without coffee, she's my like Power Rangers Voltron formation in the morning. So I have to make her like a lot of coffee. Otherwise, I'm in trouble. Otherwise, I'm in trouble. So where she's like Power Ranger formation. So bomb straight away. I make 1 liter of coffee. So we enjoy the coffee. She doesn't know anything about coffee. She just tastes the coffee. She's very supportive. First of all, everything she knows from me, being with me in competition and stuff like that. But she enjoyed the moment we have a chat in the morning before she goes to work or before I go to work. We have a chat. We have a coffee. She said, this is a new coffee. I never tried it before. And then she asked where it's from. Colombia, that farm. Oh, that's really good. And I think we forget to enjoy what is most important about coffee, the ritual itself. And we
Uh,
focus too much about technical parts. Too much.
100%.
And
There's and as always, there's a space and a time, um, you know, for technical, but I also think there's a certain slice of people to go technical. And I think going technical make us forget that 99% population don't care about technical.
yeah,
And I'm actually a super fond believer that the same cup of coffee tastes different accordingly to so many components.
I agree.
The ambience, the music, how hot and cold is the cafe or the house, who you're drinking it with, how you feeling? Are you tired? There's so many elements, which makes it beautiful because you will never be able, even though it's frustrating, according to Matthew O'Tays, he said that his frustration is that we'll never be able to reach that perfect cup of coffee, right? But that's also the beauty of it, because then it's a constant improvement, a constant search, a constant quest for it. But drinking it with a person, with someone, it's so much different than drinking it by yourself. But there's a time and place also for yourself where you're enjoying it, maybe listening to a podcast, music, or you need it in that moment. And you're right, we forgot about that. We went too technical. But yeah, thanks for that. And there's someone just said, you're the best, Daniel. We got Coffee Zero on live.
Thank you.
Look forward to meeting you for long talks, coffees, and videos from I Taste Coffee. And yeah, Nico said that you talk a lot, which is okay.
You know what, I feel very, very weird in terms of this type of new generation barista. They're very technical and very strict with their craft, and they just like that. They have to understand that the best coffee is the coffee that you like, first of all. That's the most important thing. And the second thing, don't forget why you're making coffee, what's your goal of making that coffee. If I tell you that this coffee it's 97 points and it tastes like that, how would you know that? And I saw them doing most of them, they do a lot of things. Oh, we do that and do this. We should do this. I think it's really long telling someone how to do the coffee. Kind of, yeah, it kind of make you insecure, and you try to put by force and information in people's head that this is the way you should do the coffee and this is the right way you should do the coffee. All the other ways are wrong. And as you said, with coffee, there's so many other things that can happen and they can go wrong. That is not the right way. Every way is the right way. It's not only one way is the right way and the rest are bad. So this is what they have to change in terms of even the old generation or the new generation. I think they should understand more about what is important and this is how the coffee tastes. And
100%.
in terms of taste, like you can't really describe a coffee to be the same because we're different. So we preserve different flavors and aromas and stuff like that. We have a different sensitivity for different things, So that's why we look different. We have different DNA. We're different. We're not the same.
Learning we talk a lot, so yeah. we're similar. But no, you're right. No, I get you. Thanks for that. And Daniel, I mean, it's halfway mark. The format. Hopefully you're ready because most of my guests are not ready for this question. It's out of the box question. If you could, who would you like to have dinner with? It doesn't have to be in coffee.
Always my girlfriend.
Fair.
I think honestly, I'm gonna look back now. I'm gonna look back on life, saying that I don't remember that. I think the last dinner that we had was like 2-3 years ago, and I'm very ashamed of that because we were so busy and our jobs keep us, even though we live together. I'm working in the morning as a barista. She's working in the evening most of the time. So that's why this quarantine for us helped us a lot. We had dinner at home, but nothing, when things are going to reopen.
I get you. No, I love it. The beauty of this question is that there's no right or wrong. And I've had people who go for the big names, and I have people who go for the closeness and intimacy of their family and friends. And that's nothing right. It's just a little break between, the sections. But, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm sure that also, if she's there listening, it's the right answer too.
I think she's there. Yeah. she saw me like that.
Now I know why you answered like that. I get you. All right. So we talked about people. We talked about passion. We talked about the truth in the cup, which is about the overall experience. However, we give coffee for granted, right? It's so easy. You go to a shop, you get an espresso, you get a latte, whatever is your jam, and you walk out. Or you stay, you drink, you go. Yet between price crisis, climate change, it's at risk. what could be the single most effective action or change that someone could do to help the whole ecosystem?
Ooh. I think maybe focus more on transparency. I
Mm-hmm.
believe. I believe that I know you guys. You're so advanced in Australia. You have already those things, and you're doing like you guys about coffee. They're your gurus, right? But like most, it's not only Australia. There are more other countries, and I believe that if you're transparent, the consumer will understand why we need sometimes to pay a little bit more, and why we need, because we need to encourage the farmers. They're not even, most of them, they don't even know how much they make profit, or if they make any profit, or how much is their cost, or they need help in terms of assurance. Someone to help them. Then man, you can get assured that this your coffee will sell next year. And try to look for long-term relationship. If like my goal as a roaster, like small roaster now, obviously I'm small, but when I reach my goals, I would love to work with the farmers that, try to work with most of them, but like re respect my capability, and work with those farmers and try to help them all year round, and try to work along them, and grow together. That's the goal. Because like without the farmers, man, we're not gonna have coffee. Like we're not gonna have coffee, and they struggle at this moment because I give you an example. I've been to Colombia to a farm, and I was shocked how they how open they were, how true and how passionate. And they had 5 generations of coffee growers, and he was doing the quality control by tasting the cherry, man. And he was like, "This is okay. That this is ready. No breed reader, no nothing." He was doing like that for generation, and he was so open. Like he gave us everything that he had, the best for us to make us feel warm and happy. I remember it was my birthday. They brought me a cake. How it was super like the surprise that they offered me was amazing, and I don't even know who. I think Dale Harris told them that was my birthday, but like was crazy how nice they are, and the passion that they have for this coffee. And most of them, they consider that coffee tree as their own baby. And we need to help them. And by being transparent, because that's the main question, to be transparent, like consumer will understand exactly. It's like wine, because when you buy a wine and you say it's from that year, from that region, that it's a good year, it's a good wine, so you're willing to pay a little bit more. In coffee, it's not really like that. It's like, oh, that coffee shop, it's 350. This one charge for flat white, €4. Why? I
Yeah.
go that way, it's cheaper. And
Yeah.
but I think you need to work from coffee shop backwards. From a coffee shop point of view, from a customer point of view, coffee shop roaster point of view, and so on until the farmer.
Mm-hmm.
Because like if you look on the green price list, how much they get paid and how much we sell, like, oh man, it's
I
ridiculous.
know. I, I also think to add on is, you know, simple daily actions make a bigger impact. So, there's a big argument about reusable cups and plastic and pollution, which obviously climate change impacts the farmer because of changes. Then, their production is impacted and affected, and all of that circle. And then it comes down to quality and experience. So I think that it is in the hands of the barista and the shop owners to really, I always talk about fine dining because it's easy example. If someone had the opportunity and the privilege to go fine dining, it's the napkin on your laps, it's the cutlery, it's the music, it's everything, not just the food. So I think that has to shine a little bit more in terms of the experience. And it's difficult because it's such a highly consumed, you don't go fine dining every day. So I think there's opportunity to move and maybe start playing around. You could have a little, for people who are listening, if they want to steal the idea or whatever, but like a table experience, like a almost like a, well, Antipex does it here, but you could have it as a separate section, like a private area where it's like booking is required, like those Japanese chefs, and you have, you know, 1 to 5, 1 to 6, and it's, you know, an experience. So if we had more of those people, you know, it's about conversations. It's about those connection with people, and a conversation can lead to more and more openness for our people. Speaking of conversations, what would you say to people who are looking at coffee like you were looking at coffee a few years ago, but perhaps they were stuck with a mentality of coffee is not a career, I need a good job, or they're already into a good job? How important is to just say, well, you know, follow your passion, even though it's not as easy?
Well, I think most of us, like 99%, we didn't thought that we're gonna make a career out of it, right? It's just happened, and just listen to your soul, man. Listen to your heart, and if you love it, it's not about the money. It's do whatever make you happy and do whatever bring you joy in your life. If you work for money, you're not gonna be happy, man. You're gonna work your ass off to reach that financially goal, and then you're not gonna have true friends around you. You're gonna lose a lot of things that really can bring you joy and happiness and health as well. You know, it's mental health. Money, chasing that goal to be super rich can you know get you in trouble, man. It's everybody wants to be rich, right? But like I feel, and this is just for me. Like my goal is to make myself happy. That's why I'm opening my own grocery. Honestly, I want to work for myself, and I want to have fun working. And if I break even and I pay myself a salary that I was earning working in a coffee shop, I'm happy. But if I'm doing the right thing for the right people, that's the most important. Because I'm going with my heart. I'm not going with a wallet, you know. And my grandparents always have to say, man, like they always said to me, like, when you die, you don't take it with you. So
Yeah, and also it's like it's never enough, right?
yeah, like you
It,
reach.
it really isn't enough. Like you know, you make 100,000, then you know that you can make 200,000. You make 200,000, you know you can make 500,000. You make 500,000, you know you make 1 million, and it goes on and on and on and on. But then it's, you know, there's a different movies and documentaries, but you know there's this documentary about minimalism because that's something that I believe in. And I interviewed this guy, and during this documentary, and basically he was saying how, you know, he worked all his life to get to the spot where basically his boss said in this big New York, you know, banking company said, all right, you've earned the right to become a junior partner of the company, blah, 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 blah. And basically he went home and started crying because he realized that that's it. For him, if he did take that position, that would have been, he would never have been able to get out of it.
Yeah.
And actually do the things that you want to do, which was adventure and traveling. And, you know, it's easier to say it than do it. So I appreciate people who are in a position where they need to, you know, work towards money because they're in a financial difficult situation. But that was just, you know, the whole less is more applies beautifully to any industries. And you're right, if you chase it, then yeah, you're stuffed. And look, you talked about roasting your own coffee, which is still part, in my opinion, of the hospitality industry. Hospitality is far from perfect. If you could change one thing, what would that be?
The approach of building up the consumer market, because without a market, we're not gonna have a specialty coffee industry. And I think education is very important. We're not in the wine industry. It's so age compared with the coffee industry. I think we need a little bit more time and more involvement. And I think we do great as an industry. We share, you guys, you do these amazing things online, and there are many other coffee people that share information online. So now because of this virus, a lot of, I think the fourth wave is coming, that is home brewing. And home brewing is not necessary for the baristas, it's for people that are at home, and they will learn and a little bit more how to brew coffee, and they will get a different experience. You know what I mean? It's like getting that coffee. Wow, I never tasted. Obviously, I did something wrong before, but now I'm doing this, and I got with the same coffee, different experience. Tastes much better. It's more enjoyable, and I think it's more interest, because I was the same. I was drinking coffee, like I was drinking espresso with 2 sugars. Can you imagine that? Honestly, I swear to God. And now I'm
I
drinking
believe,
only filter.
but I, you left me. Yeah, I love what you just said. The fourth way to be homebrewing, and you rang two bells for me. Number one, I think you're right, because I keep that, with my customers, I keep telling them the same, which is, well, consumer behavior is going to change, right? Because I said it, Jennifer or Jerry, who they're both introverted and they hate the gym because it's too confronting. They now learn that they can have a Zoom personal training sessions in the comfort of their home. You never see Jerry and Jennifer back into a gym ever again. Okay, so consumer behavior, one. And two, it rang the bell because guess what? And I say without any shame, I started brewing coffee at home only 3-4 months ago. That's why I only have an AeroPress. Like I had a grinder for a while because I got it from work, but like literally I started because I had to, because before I was like, well, I have 4 or 5 coffees at the coffee shops because I love the experience. I love to support my local businesses. I love to have that, embrace that, find, look, discover. I was forced to enter this wave of home brewing. Yeah.
I
It
believe
rang
it's
the bell. I agree with you. I never thought about it, but yeah, 100%.
I think it's very important for this type of people that are cloud chasers. This is how I call them. Like they work so hard to achieve a financial dream, and they're not really, they don't have really time to spend time to make fancy coffee. And now in this quarantine, they love coffee because they work a lot, so obviously they need coffee. And they never
Oh yeah.
experienced really good quality coffee. And now when they start getting, say like, okay, where should I get my coffee? So they talk with the roaster get in touch with them. By being, close with your customer as a roaster, you eliminate any types of mistakes from the coffee shop point of view. If it is there, I'm not saying that, but it can happen errors, depends who you get behind the counter and what information, how grumpy it is. And, we have those type of, or how blind it is towards that direction. And you can do a Insta live with him one-to-one, how to, or a Zoom call with him showing how to brew a batch brew at home, and he will get a different experience. And then when you get a good positive,
There we go. I got you back. Sorry, when you have a positive.
experience in your life, you tell to 10 people, 20 people.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's funny. There's a stats that I read years ago, and it's. Oh, I got you. I got you back. I think with
It's a
that.
weird number.
All right. Here we go. All right. Actually, years ago, I read a stat, and it actually, if someone has a bad experience, I'm more likely to tell it to 10 people. That's extra stats. Versus if you had a good experience, you're more likely to tell it to 3, which is still important because it means we need to focus on the good experience. Speaking of which, because you're starting your business, I think that there is such a room for giving access through private Zoom meetings for your customers, but not the owners. I'm talking about the waiters, the waitresses, the chefs, dishwashers, the baristas, because ultimately, if everyone speaks the same language, that would translate on the floor, on the table, at the bar, behind the machine, with someone waiting for takeaway for someone dining in. So I think also we need to bridge that gap across different staff members. And in the comfort of their home is they can follow you and say, hey, guess what? This is what we're doing. This is what we're roasting. This is what it is. Let's go.
Like I notice working behind the bar is very important to appreciate a lot your customers. Even though they don't have any clue about coffee, right?
Mm.
They're coming there, and your role is to respect them and to treat them right. And sometimes, if you feel that is the moment to make the step, I say, listen, I recommend this. I think it's, when they get your trust, they will follow you, man. They will listen to you, and they will listen to your advice in terms of
Yep.
what is good, because they think, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. Definitely, I don't. But need to get that trust. It's very important to win that trust of the customer. So it's very important to know and remember their name, because they really appreciate that. So when you say, hi, John, how's it going? Simple.
Right. You know, we all want to start from here, or we got to start from here. You have to start from those little conversations. You got to start to know the person, because guess what? If a stranger that we bump on the street would say, would you like this lollipop? We say no,
It's weird.
right? If we start to know that person, because also they already made a purchase, they already made a payment. So they're like, hey, I paid for this coffee, give me my coffee, versus showing gratitude, appreciation, because they keep our industry and the doors of our businesses open, then develops a relationship. And then step one is that. Step two is starting to, give them a little bit of love. And step three, starting to planting those seeds and like, hey, you order a long black. Hey, here's a little taste of batch brew. Similar, but not similar. It's the same, but it's not the same. Have a taste. Tell me what you think about it. That's it. It starts from this conversation. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
And we flew on time. I can't believe it. Before we get lost on this one, thank you for coming on, Daniel. It's been such a beautiful conversation. A pleasure to meet you. And I hope that we can maybe catch up in a few months with at the roastery. Maybe we can do a virtual live tour. I would love to do that.
Oh, I would love to
So
do that, man. You're
yeah,
mostly welcome, and thank you so much for the, like, for me it was like I would be part of your show because I love what you do, and I
thank
love
you.
your message that you want to spread. And I saw all the big names. So, wow, that's amazing. And and then when you invited me, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that. That's really cool. And I feel that it's, I have a message to say, and the message is from my opinion and my personal opinion. I don't say mine is right and yours is wrong. That's my personal
100%.
opinion, and I believe that we should appreciate more what we have around us. And this quarantine made us realize that this is very important, to appreciate what is really important and forget about.
You know me. Gratitude is my jam. You've heard it, you've seen it, and like I'm grateful for you to be here. For me, it's about being grateful for what we have, like you said, and add value to one person. That's it. If we can add value to two, fantastic. Three, great. 10, even better. But one person, that's the goal. And then we're winning in the long run, in the marathon, right? And I appreciate your message. And the reason why I say thank you first is because, it's cut through, and I want to ask you the last couple of questions so that, you've seen the episodes.
Yeah.
All right, last two questions. A, what's your coffee mission? B, what's next on Daniel's planet?
My coffee mission, I think I covered that, no, between the lines. My coffee mission is to connect the farmer with the consumer. I want to put the farmer on the map. When you go Google Maps to see, okay, La Negrita farm, okay, this farm, yeah, I know it. I had the coffee before. I want people to give credit more to the farmers, and in any, like, even in all industry, not only in coffee. Like, I think wine as well would be great, whiskey as well would be great, any food as well. Like, we see now more people doing a lot of backyard farming, and or getting the local farmer involved in the restaurant, and we get from this and that, like, I think it's more important to give credit more. That's give credit more to, and appreciate more everyone, not only you. You're not alone. In everything that you do, you have someone that it's around you, and you have to appreciate that.
Yeah.
And the second one, my coffee mission, yeah.
Oh, what's next on your planet?
Next on my planet, probably again, I said I open my own roastery. That I'm so excited. I can't wait, and probably gonna have a baby. Probably gonna get married. Where like I think it's normal. It have to happen, you know. I think it's the time like we're together 10 years, so I think will be a different stage of my life that
Oh, yeah.
uh she's looking at me and say, "Why you say that?"
Is she doing that again, or
No,
is she
no,
doing? What are you doing?
And then of course coffee. I would love to spend some time in a origin country, and I was planning before that to stay in Colombia for 1 year. And before starting planning opening a roastery, I want to help more if I can, and to learn as well, because you know you give back, but you get back as well. You give and you get as well, you know. And
Yeah,
and yeah, but this is still in my plan. If I being able to go to a region and stay there and help and get from their culture and appreciate the culture, I would love it.
I love it. Thank you. And I think the perfect way to close it is Andre is saying to you, "Wait with the baby." So there you go. He's saving you right there.
Was
Um,
that's not my call. It's the ladies' call, you know.
uh, Daniel, such a pleasure. Yeah, I'm gonna rewatch it. Really would love to have you on again in a couple of months when the bursary is set up. We'll do a little virtual tour. Maybe we can brew some coffee together that you're roasting. We'll do something a little bit different. I want to bring back other guests and do something different. So
I
I
have
really want to do that.
a great idea. I want to do a mystery coffee pack that we'll have to send in all over the world to people, and then we can like green as well, and I can send the cow profile would be handy, and then we can copy it together and share the experience.
Done.
I think that
I'm
would be
down.
great.
Yeah, I'm down. You know it.
And
Fantastic.
Andre can join us as well to see.
Well, Andre, yeah, hopefully you can join us, yes, for sure. But yes, again, I just have to digest a few things that you said. I think the fourth way and just the connection with farms, and I just love the what's the word, humbleness that you know of yours and people that showed you love. And yeah, keep doing what you're doing, man. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate
Thank
you,
you.
brother. Take it easy, my friend.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Love you.
And
Keep
Tanti
safe.
just said this episode gives also couples goal as well. There you go.
uh, Thank
Thank
you,
you,
guys.
brother.
Thank you so
Have
much.
an amazing
Keep
day, brother.
You too. Keep safe, guys. Bye bye.
Ciao. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Juan. So late for you in Mexico. Ost consult legend, always here. Aditsu, Andre, can't wait to have you on the show. We got Agustina, Tanti, Espresso Machine, all of you. Appreciate each and one of you. And if you like to share this, take a screenshot, drop it on your Instagram stories. We want to grow this. We want to keep them coming, and we got more episodes. Speaking of which, just a little promotion for it's gonna be Thursday episode. We're gonna do the first ever coffee farm live video, like a virtual tour at a coffee farm in Indonesia with the Indonesian barista champion Mikhail Yasin. So it's a double treat. It's double special because it's a virtual coffee farm tour. B, it's with Miko Jasin, and that's gonna be a double treat. So, otherwise, guys, stay safe. The countdown is gonna start soon from Instagram. I appreciate you. Hope you enjoyed the show, and take care and stay safe.